Does he have headphones?
Yeah, he does.
Three,
yeah, no, he's
two,
listening.
1.
You know, I just realized, like, they put the apostrophe in the correct spot.
Where? What
Fox News, Brett Baer.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know,
Newses?
I see people, like, big publications apostrophize an S with an added one.
After
like,
one, yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And people on air, you watch people, intelligent people.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
Yeah.
They'll be like, Fox News's. I'm like, that's not how you say it. It's just Fox News, Brett Baer. Like,
Right.
it's not Jesus's disciples.
Yeah,
it's just Jesus' disciples. Right. You don't add an S to an S.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
I appreciate the shit out of that apostrophe.
I'm glad you do. I mean, it's
I see it fucked up on so many, like,
it's in writing. Like it's
on the cover too, which is
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's just like, that's just the rule.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, there's not like a rule, comma,
or apostrophe.
or apostrophe. Yeah,
It's not ruleses.
yeah, it is.
There's
not.
no ruleses.
There is no ruleses.
Stupid.
It is a weird thing. Like, I was having this conversation the other day with Brig because I was reading. There's no shortage, obviously, of like when you go online, you Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You're on the line. Yes, on the line. And and you're swiping through and you're seeing like just hilarious like guys that will put something on X or something. And the dude's like, it's there. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. They are.
Right.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And it blows my fucking mind. Two things blow my mind. One, no one can write anymore.
No.
Like longhand, no one's writing.
No one's writing anymore.
Apparently cursive's gone.
Yeah.
My daughter was writing in cursive the other day. She was like attempting to write in cursive. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what's that all about? I know you didn't learn that in school because they don't do it.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I had my third grade, like we had like an hour every day that was like we only learned cursive.
Oh yeah, no, that's a thing. That was a thing, yes. And so no one can really write longhand anymore, meaning without a computer.
Yeah, everyone just
And
or a phone.
Yeah, or a phone. And then what blows my fucking mind is like people don't know how to spell, except that when you're putting something on Facebook and Instagram, it will tell you if you're wrong. And you you're like, you know what? Mine's better. No, it's not, man. It's fucking not. It's fucking wrong is what it is. Like, it's crazy.
Is the spell check on your phone, like if you put the wrong there in, will it change it for you?
Mine does.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think I have my autocorrect off. That's why mine doesn't.
Mine will highlight the word and be like, hey, maybe you need
my
something
autocorrect
here.
is off.
Yeah. Or it will also be like, hey, they'll be like, there's like a highlight and then there's, it'll underline something.
Yeah.
And you click on it and it's like, I think you probably need a comma here.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know, it was
no,
like,
I fucking don't.
Texting really like was the first thing that really started off like fucking everybody's like being able to write. Mm-hmm. And because like no one uses proper grammar of like commas and stuff anymore.
But like they've fixed that. But what you're just you're just raw dogging a guy? Like,
well, I'm just saying like that. I'm just saying like as far as like people's inability to write on paper.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious that you have all these things on your phone.
I'm not sure it's a bad thing.
And it's not a bad thing. Here's what I think is a bad thing.
Okay.
that you're just blowing past the fact that it's trying to help you.
Yeah. Like, well, what I'm saying is more of like a deeper level of questioning and answer there is like, because I've heard people be like, you know, like the computers and texting and like everything writing out on your computer with autocorrect and like spell check or whatever has kind of like ruined people's like there are some people that hold the thought that like maybe it's dumbing people down, and I think that might be dumbing people down to writing, but you know what fire was dumbing people down to? Eating raw stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, no.
The wheel was dumbing people down to walking.
Right. No, I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Like some people's dumbing down as other people's moving forward. Or
sure.
like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, the whole, like, that's an argument that's, it's as old as time. Like, sorry.
No.
I apologize. So, but it's like, you know, there's always going to be pushback on like the evolution of things.
100%.
And then other people are like, yeah, but you can't do longhand. I don't fucking want to do longhand math, dick.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's what this motherfucker's for. Like, I tried to do that the other day. I tried to longhand multiply something, and I'm like, wow.
I can still longhand multiply. I can't long division anymore. Like when I have to start moving stuff, decimals over in long division, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
So I was like, holy shit, man. And I started doing it, and then I started thinking about it, and it was fucking me up. So then I just did it, and without thinking, I just started, because it's like, it's ingrained in your head.
Yeah.
But like, if you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, now I'm second guessing like how I do. I already have the fucking answer, by the way. Right here. It's already right here. I already have it on the computer. And I'm like, let me see if I can still do this.
Yeah.
Like, dickhead, you haven't. But
when you start doing it, you realize how dumb it is. You're like, I gotta add a zero here for no reason, for literally no reason. Like you go to the next line, you're like, okay, zero for my placeholder. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And then like some of the world has figured out like shortcuts to longhand, right?
Oh yeah, that aren't really shortcuts. You seen those?
Here it is. Why are we still trying to figure shit out?
I remember like my teachers. I think I've talked about this before. Like teachers being like, "You're not going to have a calculator. You know, you're not going to be able to use a calculator in life." Blah 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 all the time. And it was like, I'm pretty sure that like if you worked for Goldman Sachs and you were like, you know, moving big amounts of money around, you wouldn't be like, "Hey, I know it's right. I did it long here. You guys, you want to check my work? It's in pencil, so I can erase."
I have the proof.
Yeah,
I
showed my work.
I once got in trouble.
Like.
I once got kicked. I once got in trouble. I think I've talked to you about this before. Maybe on the podcast. So in high school, I took a algebra test.
Oh yeah, you didn't show your work.
And I didn't use the paper that was given to me. Yeah. And he said, you cheated. I said, I didn't fucking cheat. I just did it in my head. He goes, you can't do that. I'm like, yeah, I fucking can.
I did it right here.
He goes, I fail you. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Dude.
I'm like, so I immediately go, okay, give me another test and you can fucking stare at me while I'm doing it. And I did it. And then he got really upset. It was a whole thing. Anyway, now, like, again, yeah, for all those fucking teachers that were like, you're not going to have a computer, or you're not going to have a calculator in life, you fucked up, didn't you, bud?
Yeah, I have
right
the whole
here.
world in my hand.
Right here. Right here.
Everything we know as humans, everything public knowledge to humans, I have, and I can have it in 5 seconds.
You know what I don't have? One of those fucking slide scales. You know what
yeah. Do you think the guys that were on the abacus were like the calculators dumbing people down?
Stupid. It's just going to slow people down. Yeah.
They're over there fucking counting beads on a fucking wire.
You know what I could do? I could just ask fucking Google to do it for me, and I don't even have to punch a number in.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think
I could ask that thing. It'll just tell me everything I want to know.
Seriously, everything.
Everything. I could do ridiculous math problems that I don't even know are real. Yeah. And that thing will do
I don't need a fucking chalkboard and Matt Damon. I can just ask Alexa. She would have answered the fucking problem for me.
You know what? We're all fucking geniuses now, bitch. How do you like them apples?
Well, I got a number.
It's crazy, though, to think about. Like
I do think that there is value in knowing how to do it. I think like you should at least be able to do some like simple math, like multiplication. I think what's more important is being able to do like simple like, quotations in your head, like pretty easy addition and subtraction and multiplication, like up to like, you know, I know some people are like they're like, what's 38 plus 24? And they're like fucking pull out their finger or their phone. And I'm like, 38 plus 24. Let's just do this, man. It's 62.
Yeah. Come on.
Like 38 plus 20, 58, add 4. I mean, come on, man. Like that, I feel like there's a little bit into that. Like, I don't want to have to pull my phone out to do that.
You're right. There is value in that. And so I know for a fact, like my kids are doing it right now.
Yeah.
So they're in school, they're doing that stuff. They're doing multiplication now. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. I don't know about division. I'm sure they are at some point. But the other night, we're hanging out, me and the kids, and he's watching something. We're watching something, and he goes, I go, how many of those blocks do you need? He's like, 128. Shit, sorry. I'm like, well, how do you know that? He's like, well, because he had two things of 64.
Yeah.
And he goes, 64 plus 64
is a whole stack in Minecraft, buddy.
Yeah, and he goes, 64 plus 64 is 128. I'm like, holy shit! Like he just did it.
Yeah.
Like I'm, that's cool. Like I'm glad that.
You know what's funny is I
have that.
actually brought that up when I very first started playing Minecraft a long time ago. I was probably like, I don't know, 20-ish, 21.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in there.
God, I got a great story. Keep going.
Okay,
Fuck,
but
it's amazing.
I said it. I was like, because it primarily was a kid's game, and I was like, dude, this is great for kids because everything is grid. Like since everything is square, everything is built in grids. So when you're building something, you're like, I was always like, because I was 20 whatever years old. I was like, okay, this is a 10 by 10, so I need 100 blocks for this pad I'm building. So
Right.
that's really good for like kids, and they and the stack. So they, like you said, Ben, like you have to
Yeah.
add it.
Right.
Like I was like, man, this is great for kids actually.
It is. There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Like I mean, it can be detrimental in some ways. Like you can start playing on those boards and people get involved and other assholes.
Oh,
like
100%.
that kind of shit.
Like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I mean,
but,
the public is obviously
yeah. So, oh God, I got a great story. So I was bringing him back from. I picked him up the other day.
Do you want something to drink?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Whatever you got, or yeah.
We have mini Sprites. Corona Premier.
I'll take. Yeah, I'll probably do a Coroni.
A Coroni. Coroni.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
nice.
a good one.
So,
I have one too, and I'm done with my fucking protein shake.
Yeah. So he was talking to Maddie in the back seat, and he was like talking about how there was certain things that didn't exist in Minecraft until recently, and it was like a nether some sort of shield or something,
Sure.
or armor, right?
Yeah.
God armor.
Netherite armor.
Yeah, and they call it God armor.
Oh,
or something.
yeah, because it's the strongest thing.
Anyway, he was, and this is what he said. He said, back in the 2018s.
You mean like when you were born?
Yeah, a long, long time ago. Way back is what he said. Way back in the day, in the 2018s. And I'm like,
God damn it, Ben.
I'm like, you know what else happened in 2018, right, pal? He's like, what? I'm like, you guys were born.
Yeah.
You guys are a little bit older than Minecraft, apparently, or something.
No.
He said 2018. I don't know. When did Minecraft?
I started playing in probably 14.
Oh, okay. So it's been out for longer.
Yeah. They've done, like, for a long time, 2011. For a long time, Minecraft didn't, like, they released the game. It was free. The first time when I downloaded it, the first time it was free. And there was no updates. Like, it was, like, for, like, years, there was never an update. Then they did an update, and they added some things. And then they added some things on another. Then they started doing updates, like, more frequently.
I gotcha.
And now it's like, I mean, there's so much stuff in there now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I set mine back to the update where they added potatoes and carrots. And I don't go any farther than that because that's where I stopped playing. It's like, I don't know anything past that.
Right.
Like, when I started playing it again, like, maybe a year or two ago, I was, like, walking around, and all of a sudden, these fucking death bats started following me, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And, like, I started running to things I didn't know were, and then my buddy was like, yeah, if you don't sleep for a long time, and you're just up, these fucking death bats will start following you, and they'll attack you. I'm like, what the fuck? You're doing too much, man. This was supposed to be Legos.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's a live action Legos.
Yeah.
On. Yeah, it was just hilarious. They were talking about it. It was like, and in 2021 they did this. I'm like, what are we doing?
That's pretty funny.
He's on the computer now. Well, he's got a PC, a gaming PC.
Yeah. Is it a laptop or is it a fucking
No, it's an actual PC.
like tabletop?
Like, yeah.
Or desktop.
Yeah, desktop. But it's just got that on it. Like, it's not really a gaming PC. It's just like,
Is the PC that he's going to use for Minecraft?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you know what I'm not doing? Spending $2,500 on a gaming PC for a 6-year-old.
Minecraft's so easy to run. Like, it's just like...
Yeah, it's Atari, man. I mean,
It's Nintendo 64.
Yeah, you don't need... Yeah. So...
Interesting.
They have flown some flight sim, though.
Oh, that's cool.
Fun. Yeah, both of them. They took off... Each one of them took off, and each one attempted to land in a Cessna 172. Didn't work. Yeah. But I'll tell you right now...
lose all passengers.
Tell you right now, you get me in one of them fucking Skyhawk 172s, I'm gonna fuck some shit up, son. Oh yeah, we can fly.
Yeah.
I've logged some hours.
You imagine being on a plane, the pilot dies, they're like, does anyone have any flight experience? Me.
Got it.
I've logged 10,000 hours. Oh, you're on a simulator.
Is this 767-300? I got it.
Yeah. Oh, on a simulator at the Air Force? My couch?
Shit lands itself, pal.
PS5.
No, it's on the computer, actually. But it is actually interesting. You can... So, with some of the add-ons that you can do... you can actually log hours towards your pilot's license, like your initial pilot's license.
Huh.
Yes. This thing is, everything works. Yeah. So if you get into a fucking Boeing 737, everything on that fucking dash works, and that is fucking terrifying. Because let me tell you something, pal. You gotta, like, if you really want to learn about that plane or whatever, you gotta go on and you gotta go through like a 4-hour
like course.
Yeah. And because you've got LNAV, VNAV, you got all this shit, right? And those have, I mean, so any commercial plane now has auto throttle, RNAV, VNAV, which is your vertical navigation. It's got normal navigation, which is like, or LNAV, which is your longitudinal. All these things. So like you've got left to right navigation, vertical navigation, auto throttle. You put into the GPS exactly where you're going. You set your flight plan, which is what you do in this game all the time. Like you got to set your flight plan. You got to tell ATC all this stuff, and there's different levels to it based on like where you're flying. If you've got visual approach or if it's instrument approach or like all these different things, right? But if you get it all set up and like it's all Garmin avionics for the most part, like the 1000 and the 3000 is like the really badass one, and it's all touchscreen inputs and all these things, and you set your flight plan before you even leave, and then as soon as you get about 500 feet off, you hit autopilot, and you can just sit back and kick back. It does everything for you. Huh. And then once you come in on your approach,
is that why we're losing all these Boeing planes?
There's a lot of things going on with it. I don't know what the deal is with the Boeing stuff. Like,
a lot of them are blowing up, man.
Yeah. Well, one of them was blown up by the Russians.
The Russians got one. Yeah.
They thought it was a drone because the 737 looks a lot like a drone.
100% people flying around fucking Airbuses.
Yeah.
Like drones.
Yeah. That's a drone.
Yeah.
I heard, so.
That one blew up like the Philippines,
that
right?
Korean one.
Was
that Korean?
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, I think that, so they're one of the safest airlines too.
Interesting.
So that one didn't have, like, when it landed, it didn't, like, they forgot to put the shit down. Like, there was no, there.
I thought the back was down, but the front didn't.
Didn't look like it to me. I don't know.
Then it blew up.
Because it hit a concrete barricade.
Yeah.
Which wasn't supposed to be there. Uh-huh. So a lot of the things that I've read, because I read up on it, I watched a couple of people talking about it. Like avionics experts, whatever, however that is, you know.
Yeah.
We know how that goes. But they were talking about the fact that there would have been no. So you remember when that happened in LAX, where the pilot landed with the front gear was turned sideways.
Okay.
So the gear came down.
Yeah.
The front gear was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So they...
Not a wheel anymore.
So when they were coming down, there's certain... Again, this is all shit that I've learned just by doing this, but like there's a certain... Like when you're coming in on approach, final... There's a certain area where if you aren't 100% on all your stuff, it's a go around.
Yeah.
So you go back to go around speed. So you hit a button and it goes back. So that's what they did. This was, I mean, we were still living in California at the time. Yeah. And they flew around for a while trying to jettison fuel.
Yeah.
To get it, obviously, to lighten it up a little bit. But that dude, when he put it down, he kept the nose up for literally as long as he possibly could.
Right.
And slowed down to the point where when that thing hit, I mean, basically immediately exploded the tires.
Well, yeah.
And it came down, but there was enough runway that it didn't even go off the runway.
Right.
Like he kept that motherfucker dead nuts. Like it was crazy. Those guys are incredible,
yeah,
obviously.
Crazy. And
like us, it's kind of funny. Like, remember how we used to say, like, they pay us for when shit hits the fan, not for what we do every day, which is true. It's the same thing with pilots now.
Yeah, I mean,
because they really don't. And I would get so much shit. But so my uncle's been a United pilot forever and ever, 30 some years. Anyway, no, please. They pay those guys if something happens. Yeah, they have to go into like a manual flight mode now. Yeah. You know, where they're having to do all these things. Well, that was that time. I mean, you know, that guy was obviously, those guys were brilliant. It didn't look like the gear came down at all on that Korean flight. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I just missed the rear, but those barricades should have never been there. Like he had plenty of runoff, right?
Interesting.
So, but once he hit those, it just came apart, obviously. Yeah. Pretty gnarly, for sure. But yeah, like 2 flights in the last, like, few weeks. Of course.
Well, the Russian one has been.
Well, yeah. One of them died of not natural causes.
Yeah. But Boeing has had, like, the last year, they had a lot, right?
Yeah, they had some stuff going on with, I think it was compartments that weren't, well, we had the issue with the door blowing off. That's a problem.
That is an issue.
Yeah. So cabin pressure not being the same or being inconsistent. That's a real fucking problem, obviously. But yeah, and then they've had some issues. They had some issues with some flight computer stuff too. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, you gotta understand. Like,
I remember the door blowing off.
How crazy is it that like the 747? Yeah, that plane is like 60 years old. Yeah, I think. And all they do is just kind of like keep patching her together. Maintenance, right? Like the newest plane they have, like the 777 was new. The Airbus is new, or still decade or more older. The new 737 A300, I think, or whatever, was like the newest version of the Boeing 737s, I think, which could vertical climb at like ridiculous amount. Like it could come off and just almost go vertical. Wow. Which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I mean, everything is computerized to the point where you're really just making sure you're there to make sure, monitor and give feedback based on, and switch things around if need be. Talk to AT, your air control, make sure you're getting handed off properly and all that shit. That's really what you're doing. You're on the mic, you know, and you're contacting if, you know, like if there's, this thing has real-time weather. So like if you're flying
that's cool.
right now and there's some massive storm somewhere, it's happening. So, you got to pay attention on, especially on the commercial flights or whatever, because they're moving you around stuff. They're bringing you higher up, like, so you're adjusting your altitude and all that kind of shit, or flight path, which actually happened to Courtney's kid the other day. They were going to Dallas. There was a massive storm going through there, and they had to divert them. Yeah,
they diverted them to Oklahoma City.
No, they got into Dallas, but they just went around. Like they were going to go right through the storm, so they just had to roll that way. It's also very interesting that like Boeing's, I'm pretty sure Boeing's can't jettison fuel.
I know the
Airbuses
can't. Yeah.
So the Airbuses they can dump, which they did in Inglewood a long time ago, and just fucking buried the ghetto in fucking jet fuel.
Isn't that weird? They can just do that.
Yeah, just emergency, baby, and they pay it off a bunch of those people too.
Don't they try to do it over the ocean?
They try if they can. Yeah,
try. I always know like when you're coming in. I've only been on a flight once where they were like, "We have too much fuel. We got to circle Phoenix for the next hour." Mm-hmm. That's annoying. But I've been on quite a few flights where like we're going and like I know about like it's about a half hour to climb and a half hour to descend. That's usually about around like, and it's about 25 you can feel minutes. Like you can look at it and be like half hour, and you'll start to feel the nose like start to like, and you're like, all right, cool. There's been a couple times where like we've been up and then like I'll fucking feel the drag start, and then he'll fucking hit the gas. So he's just like pulling drag and hitting gas to burn fuel, like actually using fuel. Like I've been on that a lot, which fucking thank God, man. Cause like flying around in circles is it's
annoying.
It is annoying.
I did that in Denver coming home when I was living in Colorado. We were flying into Denver and there was massive wind shears. That's like one thing that DIA.
Oh yeah. Cause it's like in a bowl, right?
Yeah. Well, DIA is out on it's like way east of Denver and there's nothing there and it's super flat. But yeah, I mean, you come in from the Rockies and you dive in
straight in,
and it gets gnarly sometimes. Yeah. We ripped circles around outside of Denver for like a solid 45 minutes and then they came on and said, "Hey, we're gonna have to fly to Colorado Springs and refuel." Okay.
Hey man, put this thing down through the wind, bud. Put another knuckle in there. Give us a show.
Seriously. Like fucking strap that bitch in and let's wrap this up, man. Like
I don't want to go to Colorado Springs though.
No. So we make the turn to go to Colorado Springs and we drop like 3,000 feet in like 2 seconds because of a wind pocket. Have you ever hit one of them?
Not that big, I don't think.
God damn, son.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on some where like when you can think about that you're still falling as you're falling, you're like, that's a big drop. Usually it's just like, whoa.
What's really crazy is when you're that close to the ground already and you see the ground coming a lot faster, like real quick, I like look down for reference and I'm like, there's a dude. Like, whoa.
When I can start pulling out makes and models of cars, like this thing's landing.
You know what? Just go to that one.
If I can pick out gender, we have a huge problem.
Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that one. I pulled cloth on that one.
Yeah.
I think most people in that plane did. And there was a run there for a while where I was on planes constantly.
Yeah.
Like when my mom was flying for Delta and we used to get before 9/11, we get first class all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was flying to California for $0. Yeah. It was like $12 or something. I mean, and so I got very familiar with Utah, like because that's where Delta flew in. That was one of their biggest hubs was on the West Coast is Utah or Salt Lake City rather. Still in Utah, by the way.
So that's where they keep Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's where they still have it. So I was there a lot, and I think I probably told the story too. My buddy B and me were flying to California just to go out for like a week or something, just to go hang. And we were first class. We were tipping some back, and we were flying out of Salt Lake City, and on our, well, basically going over Vegas, which is kind of when you start your approach into Orange County for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
that's basically about when you start, you know, making your descent. And we got some turbulence, and I one time, and I could see him white knuckling and then we hit one, and I'm like, whoa. And he's like, what? I'm like, I've never felt that before. God damn, that dude was so smacked. But, yeah, I mean, fuck, flying into Orange County, Ontario. I mean, Salt Lake City. I flew all over the place, and it was really fun because, you know, it didn't cost much of anything. So I got to experience all kinds of stuff that I'd never really experienced before. And then it was funny because then I stopped flying for a long time. And I got into my like 30s, and I took a flight, and that's when I realized that like this isn't nearly as fun as it used to be, because now like there's all kinds of other things that I think about when I'm in the flight, and I'm like,
you know what my favorite part of flying is? People look at me like I'm crazy. My favorite part of flying is the point in which I get to the airport, I check my bags, I go through security, and I get on the plane. Because I like to see how efficiently I can do it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of flying. Right. Everyone else hates it. I'm like, this is the best part.
Right.
Watch this. He's not even going to tell me to put my shoes in this bin.
Yeah.
I already got them off. I had them off at the fuck. When I checked my bag, I had my shoes off.
Don't have one.
Yeah, don't have one. Guess what? They're slip-ons, too. Don't gotta tie them.
Dude, I tell you what, you're right. Because, like one of the things I fucking can't stand is, like, after that, having to like tie shoes and like do all this shit. Man, fuck all that, dude.
Slip-ons.
Flip-flops, shorts, no belt if I can help it. Like, I've got a carry-on. A lot of times I won't even carry on.
I don't care. I just check.
I'll just check.
I have nothing in my hands.
Because, yeah, exactly. Like, I've got a
going through
pocket
like
of
this,
stuff. I'm like, there you are. And
the only thing in that fucking bin is my shoes, my wallet, my hat, my keys, and my fucking phone.
It's perfect.
I'm out.
I love it.
Yeah. And then I go into the fucking body scanner. I always try to get in the body scanner line so I can give that guy at the wink at the running the fucking...
When he sees my dick.
Yeah, just give him one, hey, bud. Yeah.
Speaking of that, Carry On.
Great movie.
Great movie.
You know, first of all, I got pulled aside one time. We were leaving Arizona. We were leaving Phoenix. And I had a share-size bag of Skittles in Emily's backpack that I was going to eat on the plane. And they were like, ma'am, can you please step to the side? And, like, they pulled her and searched it because they thought I was bringing pills back. Like, bitch, that's fucking... Can you not tell it's a Skittles bag? Come on.
Doesn't say Skittles on the x-ray.
I know, but, like, what are we doing here?
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like...
Can't tell if that's Skittles or peanut M&Ms or
or M&Ms or Carry On's a great movie.
That is a great
fantastic movie. I watched a lot of stuff since we've seen you last.
You really tied one on for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I did. Well, I couldn't do anything, so it's like I was sick the first whole week, and then I got my tooth pulled on Monday.
Oh,
that's a fun story. I'll tell you that story.
Please do.
So that put me out like most of this week.
The cracked one?
Yeah.
You finally did it. You said you were going to roll.
That's a fun one. I'm going to tell you why. That's a fun story. I watched, I'm all caught up on Landman. Got the new one tomorrow.
Yeah, the new one tomorrow. I guess there's 2 more. I thought there was only 8 for the season, but I guess there's 10.
Yeah. Last night I finished the whole first season of Lioness.
What'd you think?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'll tell you right now, in my opinion, the second season's better than the first one. Yeah.
I mean, it was good. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's... is it a DEI thing, or is it just for fun movies? Like, why do we have, like, female operators? There's, like, 2 total. And then, like, apparently they're both in her fucking quick response force.
Yeah.
And she's one of them. I don't understand that. I also understand, like, she's, like, a CIA targeter. They don't ever really tell you what she is. She's not a targeter because she's not desk job. She's just like...
she just runs the team.
She's like runs the team. I don't know if it's like... That stuff, I'm just like, it's a great show, though.
It is a great show.
If you get away from, like, the fucking... Like, the real... If you get away from the nitpickiness of it, it's great.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you can dive deep into that, of course. But I imagine, like, there is definitely a spot for them because, like, you do need, like, high-level female operators in certain areas. Like, certain things, you have to have that kind of more asset than anything, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, maybe. I mean, we're
100%.
But I mean, yeah, I don't. The Lioness program's real. I know that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, but pretty good.
Nicole Kidman doesn't look like Nicole Kidman, which is weird.
Nicole Kidman has.
Is it a plastic surgery thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I couldn't tell if it was
100%.
plastic surgery or her face just got fat.
No, it's definitely plastic surgery. I mean, I think you can tell, like a lot of Botox.
Well, you can. That's what Emily said. She said it's got to be Botox.
Yeah. I mean, it was, man. I mean, you wouldn't know this, but like when the Days of Thunder years, like did you watch Days of Thunder? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, goddamn.
I mean, I just think back not too terribly long ago, like 10 years ago, to like just go with it with Adam Sandler when she played.
Started seeing it though.
But there she still looked like Nicole Kidman.
That's true. That's true. It really has gone downhill.
When she came in, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Nicole Kidman adjacent.
Yeah. Nicole Kidman fucked the dude from The Mask.
Yeah, that's what she looks like. That's not Jim Carrey. Rocky.
No, Rocky. Yeah. Weird, right? Like that's. By the way, okay,
like her face looks swollen.
Yeah. Yeah, swollen. Yeah, who's the other one?
Morgan Freeman?
Friends.
Courtney Cox.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
What is it that, like, is it a plastic surgery that they're doing that's widening are they bringing their cheeks out? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know exactly, but I know that.
But like, it is something that happens
real
with,
fucking
with
problem.
Females, like they start like that do the plastic surgery on the face. Like,
I mean, it's like
what
botched.
I don't know if it's botched or not. These women are paying millions of dollars. I just think that they're doing too much.
That goes without saying. Yes.
Yeah, like just roll with it, dude. Like, okay, like you want to get some Botox to like tighten up some wrinkles around your eyes, okay, but you don't got to inject it all over your fucking face.
Well, see, like that's different though. That's like a cream. Like that's not, you're not injecting Botox to like get rid of. Well, maybe they were.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, you can absolutely. I just feel like
that's fine. Like
you're
when you're going in every week though.
You know what it is?
No problem.
It's no different from the dudes that fucking like front slammed Mexican supplements for fucking 20 years and now look at them. I mean, it's just like they're a fucking wreck. It's no different, man. Like you're chemically altering your body.
Yeah.
And like doing all these things. Man, time's catching up, son. Like you just it's kind of fucking nuts to watch because Courtney Cox same way. God damn.
Yeah, I don't know
like,
what happened.
Whoa, man. It's like, I mean, it's like the opposite of what happens when somebody goes into like a massive fucking.
Remember in the first Spy Kids? You people listen. The first Spy Kids when they take those scientists and like he makes them into like his fucking action figures. That's what they look like. Fucking faces like a Picasso painting.
Yeah,
that's what they look like.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
But yeah, Lioness is good. Nicole Kidman's in it. The freaking black chick from. The main chick, what the hell's her name? I don't remember her name.
Oh,
she's in Guess Who.
Z.
She's in
Z. Starts with a Z.
Yeah, she's in fucking. She plays Avatar. She plays the Avatar girl.
Yeah. And then
is it not Zendaya? That's the fucking young chick from.
Yeah.
Her.
She's been in a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I mean, she's been in a lot.
She was in the first Sicario, right? Mm-hmm. Or one of the Sicarios.
One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good show. I like it a lot. Landman's really good. What else did I watch this? Did you watch anything new besides those three?
I watched Carry On. I mean, that was a great one. We already talked about Red One.
Carry On's a movie. You guys should watch it. It's on Netflix. It's
Netflix.
Good. Jason Bateman. And fucking Egerton.
Yes. What else? What did I watch? Courtney watched the new Gladiator. I haven't seen that yet.
I didn't see that either.
I started watching The Bear.
Is it good? A lot of people liked it.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's decent. I would have to give it. So, like, my thing, I generally try and do, like, I generally try and watch, like, 3 episodes of something before I throw it away. Because the first couple, man, it's tough.
To establish.
Right. Well, this one's only like a half-hour show. So I feel like I got to give it a little more time.
Yeah.
So I am.
If it's a made-for-TV show, like a half hour, 27 minutes or 21 minutes, whatever, I'll give it a whole season.
But if it's a FX streaming only deal, so like, I mean, no holds barred. They cuss. They do all the thing. You know, it's no. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like our kind of show, right? Because they're not dumbing it down for ABC.
Yeah.
Thank God. I mean, there's a time and a place for that too, but it's okay. So he worked at the French Laundry. Okay. Which I think is funny. Like, he talks about it like he came back to Chicago.
Okay.
It's a family-owned business. It's like a beef sandwich, like, which is famous for Chicago beef sandwiches. Yeah. So there's a lot going on that I just don't know about because I'm only like three in. But it's already been established, like his spoiler, if you haven't seen it, it's like fucking season 4 or some shit, or season 3 or something. Good. It's all good. So his brother owned it. His brother died, committed suicide.
Sure.
He's back to run it. Left. He apparently was according to some people in the show, like that know him or know of him. He was like the best chef under 30. Like he was like the top chef under 30 or some shit. Like he was just so haunted by his past in a sense. Like he's not really a family guy. Like his family's there. He hasn't really talked to him a bunch. Starting to realize that like his brother was way in debt, doing some shit, like not putting it into the business and owed some bad people, like some mafia guys or whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to say. So that's about as far as I've got. It's okay. It's, I think, a little over the top in regard to like he's trying to run a
shaved beef sandwich place like the French Laundry.
Yeah. So
that's
so like
what I was getting from it.
It's but again, I'm going to give it. I'll probably watch the first season because why not? And I'm also really kind of into that shit anyway because, well, I'm into like shows about restaurants and chefs and shit like that. Sure. So it's kind of cool. Like I just kind of curious like how it all goes. My guess is it's, the what I'm seeing now is one thing I don't like is like you watched Ozark. Did you ever watch it? Okay. Mm-hmm. Like Jason Bateman's a bad motherfucker, and I really like that show. What I didn't like about that show and what I stopped watching it really, I just fell out of love with it, I guess.
There's no reprieve.
Yeah, everything is just the worst thing that could possibly fucking happen. Just continues to happen every show, and like
I didn't
there's
watch
no
Shameless.
Yeah, and this is very much similar. This is very much the same as Shameless. In fact, he's in
Shameless. Yeah.
And he plays the same role except he's a chef basically. Yeah. Like he's just a hustler, and he's good, but like it reminds me of Shameless.
Yeah.
Without the other clowns.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm good. But again, it's raw. It's people love it.
Yeah, people do love that show.
Yeah. And he's up. I mean, they're up again for like Golden Globes. Like, I just saw that today, actually, just randomly. I wasn't, but I saw the Golden Globe thing, and the Bear is up for a bunch of those. So
interesting.
Again.
So I pulled that tooth.
What happened there?
Well, it was fucking hurting bad at your house the day after Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then I got home and it got worse. When I woke up Friday, the tooth wasn't hurting, but my fucking jaw was sore. I went and looked in the mirror and it was all fucking red. And I was like, this motherfucker's getting infected. Mm-hmm. So I called the dentist and I'm like, hey, I need to come in. Because I was just looking for him to get me on the antibiotics and give me the fucking referral to the oral surgeon so I could get it out. Mm-hmm. Cool. So Friday I go about my day with just like a sore mouth, jaw on my left side. The tooth itself wasn't like throbbing anymore, which is fine. Like, so I go about my day. I went and got Listerine to try to put the alcohol in it, try to keep the infection down, And so that was all Friday. Saturday morning I wake up and it's getting gross. Starting to get like an abscess on the bottom. And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, I'm not going to wait till Monday to go get antibiotics because, like, by then it could be really bad. It could start spreading to my jawbone.
Yeah, abscesses can kill people.
Yeah. So I was like, I went into the walk-in clinic down here. I'm like, hey, man, like, I have a dentist appointment Monday. I know he's going to give me antibiotics and send me to the oral surgeon. I'm like, I just need the antibiotics now. I don't want to wait. He's like, yeah, well, you can't wait that long. So he gave me like 875 milligram fucking amoxicillin, like big ones. And he gave me fucking Norcos too. And he's like, that thing's probably going to start hurting and ibuprofen's not going to do it. He's like, take these. I'm like, okay, cool. So I got my prescription filled, came back home. And by that night around like 9 o'clock, that abscess had like grown up and started to come over my tooth. And I'm popping it with a fucking needle. Like I hit it like 7 times with a needle. And it was growing so fast that I'd pop it and I'd get like a drop of blood and it would close up. Like it was filling so fast. I'm like, fuck, man, there's not a whole lot I can do here. So I sit down in my chair and I'm watching something. Like I'm watching Landman. And I just feel and I'm like, uh-oh. I run to the bathroom, spit out a whole bunch of pus, and then I take my finger to the back of my mouth, and Emily comes in the bathroom, and I run it down my jaw, and it just, probably a tablespoon of pus just into my mouth, and just spit it out. But I'm like, now the abscess doesn't hurt anymore, so that's nice. So now it's just like the whole infected area that's kind of just sore. But I sit back down, and it's like, I'd only been on antibiotics for, 12 hours at this point. So like the abscess just starts coming back, but it never got that big again. It just like kind of stayed at the bottom of my mouth. And it stayed like that. Sunday, I woke up and I was feeling pretty good. The abscess was still there, but like it didn't grow. And actually, I think it kind of went down. Monday morning when I woke up, it was kind of like the same kind of deal. It had kind of gone down a little bit more, but it wasn't like puffy. Like I could feel it still there. Like I could feel there was liquid there. It was soft, and the soreness had kind of started to go away at this point, like as far as the inflammation. So Monday is at 1, so I get there at 1, and I go back, and it's the same dentist. He's one of those dentists. He's a fucking cool dude, man. He's very soft-spoken. He's a younger guy.
Over here?
Dayton Dental Care here.
I think I know exactly.
He's got like a short trim beard.
Yep.
He's a fucking cool dude, very soft-spoken, but he's one of those dentists that like he really makes you feel bad for not taking care of your teeth, Yeah. And he's like opens my mouth. He's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And he's like, let's get an x-ray. He pops it. He's like, there's no saving that thing, man. He's like, that thing's got to come out. And I'm like, all right. He's like, you want to do it now? And I'm like, you can do it right now? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yes, man, pull this fucking thing out. I didn't think he was going to do it with the infection still there. I wish he fucking hadn't. So the nurse comes in, the fucking dental assistant, whatever. She's like, I'm going to put some topical numbing cream for the Novocaine shots. And I'm like, yeah, cool. So she like puts this thing in there, puts a stick in there. He comes back in probably like 20 minutes later. He's like, all right, you ready to numb this thing up? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, he's like rubbing around. He's like, can you feel that on the tops? I'm like, no, not really. He's like, all right. So he goes from the inside first, plop, plop, 2 shots. And he's like, all right, I'm going to the infected side now. He's like, it's probably not that topical. He's all that numb and stuff probably not going to do much for your infected side. It didn't. He fucking puts those needles, 2 jab, blam, blam. He's like, all right, I'm going to give you about a half hour. Let it all roll through. So I sit there on my phone for a half hour. He comes back in. He's like, all right, man, you good? You ready? And I'm like, yep. He's like, are you numb? He's like, tongue numb? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty numb. He's like, all right. So he goes and he starts on the inside first. And I've had 6 teeth pulled now, including 2 wisdom. And I've been awake for all of them but the wisdom. And I've always had the fucking little clamp thing, and they rock, and then it comes right out pretty easily. Not this man. No, he likes to inflict pain because I didn't brush my teeth when I was young. Okay. He pushes my gums down on the inside where there's no infection. Fine, I don't feel much, just I can feel the pressure. Yeah. So he's pushing my gums down to expose the root so he can get there. And he's like, all right, man, I'm going to the other side. He's like, I'm going to tell you right now that Novocaine's not going to do anything for the infected area. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you're going to have to bear with me. And I'm like, oh, well, this is one of those things. He's like, you told it to me as you're pushed out. So then he pushes the gums down on the infected side. And it hurt. Like, it wasn't unbearable, but it fucking hurt. And he's like, all right, man, lots of pressure. And he pulls, I see it go across my vision, and it's a tool that I think they probably used in the Middle Ages. And it's like a cone on the handle's like a cone. Like, it starts, you know, about a quarter, and then it gets bigger. Okay. Like, almost like a tricep extension thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like a cone. And on the end of it is just a very miniature crowbar. And I'm like, he pulls out, I'm like, he's going to have the little no. He fucking jabbed that bitch from this side through the roots to the other side. And when he got to the other side, I was like, oh my God. And he's like, I know, bud. And he goes, it just gives it a pry pop, and the thing comes out, and it felt like my face exploded. And it pops off into his hand, and he's got it. And I can see that his hand is covered in blood. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, says, you want to put it on your pillow? And I'm like, no. I'm like, get away from me. First of all, I'm going to come up out here and hit you in the face.
Going to fuck you up right now.
And he's like, all right, cool. And she puts the gauze in my mouth, and she's like, bite down. She's like, we got to see if we can stop the bleeding. I'm like, stop the bleeding? I'm like, what, do we need quick clot? What the fuck's happening here? So you
got some gunpowder?
Seriously, she fucking comes back probably like 5 minutes later, not even maybe. And she pulls it, and she's like, oh yeah, it's already slowing. And she's like, here, she's like, put this one in. She folds it, puts it in my mouth, and she's like, I'm going to get you some gauze for the road, and you can check out. And he comes in, he's like, hey man, schedule a cleaning. Let's look at those other teeth so we can see if there's anything wrong, we can save some more. And I'm like, all right. So I scheduled a cleaning. When she put the gauze in my mouth before, or for this time to go home with, I realized at first I was very pleasantly surprised because gauze has that like real sterile taste, and it doesn't taste bad, but it tastes fucking weird.
Yeah.
This one was minty. Oh. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Like, that's cool. It's like a mint toothpick, you know? It's like, it works and it tastes good.
Yeah.
So I'm going, and I'm like, I get up to the table or the desk, and I make my appointment, and I'm like, man, that mint's starting kind of burn, isn't it? All right. So I go get in the car. I'm driving home, and like, now I can't swap gauze because I'm driving. And I'm like, yeah, that mint sure is burning the hole in my fucking face. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I get home, and I sit down, and I'm like, this fucking hurts. Like, I couldn't open. I was like sitting there with my eyes closed, and like, I was sore everywhere, and it was very, very fucking painful. And I'm like, dude, I'm never doing the crowbar pull again. And I'm like, you know what? And I fucking pop that mint gauze out. It's just like the air hit it. And I'm like, Jesus, fucking cold. And I throw that bitch in the trash, and I roll up another one. I put it in there. I sit down for like an hour. I'm like debilitated, like just sitting there, nothing, like eyes closed. And then it starts to like, everything kind of starts to let up. And then I roll up another gauze, and I put it in there, and I can see like the gauze is getting light. Like now it's just pink. Yeah. So I put the next gauze in there, and I sit there, and I'm like, really quickly, it all starts to go away. And I'm like, dude, that fucking mint gauze was leaking into my jawbone, right onto my nerve. It was just burning my fucking nerve. And it went away. Like, literally, like, probably 45 minutes of regular gauze being in there. I felt fine. I had 4 chili dogs for dinner that night. Wow. Fucking goddamn right. As I'm leaving, he says, hey, man, no crunchy foods for a couple days. He's like, he says, you don't want to jam a peanut down there. I'm like, oh, okay. I eat chips, too, by the way, with my chili dogs. Fuck you, guy.
Think about that. Get that out with my cleaning, bitch.
Yeah. You can, and when I come back, you can clean that fucking chili dog out of that hole you left in my mouth, asshole. Yeah, it was an experience. I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah. I've got one going on now. I mean, same thing happened. When I was in California, I got all my wisdom teeth taken out. It took like 6 minutes. It was crazy. Dude, how fast.
It is like, incredible how fast they can get them out.
And that guy was phenomenal. And then I came back. Excuse me. I went back because my tooth on this side was cracked. The one after and the one before the wisdom holes.
Yeah.
That last one. And so, and I needed a root canal. It was the first time I've ever had to do that.
So it's not really painful. It's just annoying.
It is. And they put like, they killed the nerve, obviously. They kill the nerve, then they put screws in or some shit. They do that.
I don't know what the fuck they do.
And they put a cap on it.
Yeah.
So I got that all done. Well, when I got out here, remember that cap came off. I thought I swallowed it, but I actually had it. Like I found it or whatever, didn't swallow it. So I went to that guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you know, can you get this? Can you reattach this thing? He's like, sure. So
It did use like a cement, right?
yeah. So he goes, I'll do this, and then we'll get a real one done for you because this one's just gonna pop off again. I'm like, all right, cool. So he gets it all dialed in and does it. He was very cool. It was right when we first got here. So he's like telling me about like, you know, places to check out to buy or whatever. I mean, whatever. And he looks on the other side and he goes, that one's doing the same thing. He's like, that's who suggested getting those nighttime, like,
the
guards or whatever, because he's like, you're at night, you're chomping. That's when he asked me if I had been a cop. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's weird. He's like, I only see this with cops and operators. Yeah, he's like, and you must have been in some shit or something like that. I'm like, well, I worked in the prison. He's like, oh, you've seen some stuff. Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. He was like, you see that with guys that are either on the street or operators. That's like and I guess what he explained, and I don't know if this is really true or not, but like, well, I'm guessing it probably is he said like, that's like when you get into weird like situations that are heightened or whatever, you kind of like crunch down on that, and you're, as opposed to like showing emotion or something, just like get into the game or whatever you want to call it. He goes, I see it all the time with guys that are like operator level guys or like, you know, cops that are out there doing shit, you know, and after they retire, after they're out of it, they still do it at night. Like you do it.
That's interesting because
like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
Every few months, it doesn't happen. It's not all the time, but every few months, I'll wake myself up doing it. Mm-hmm. Like I'll be doing it and I might do it all the time. I don't know. But I'll be doing it and my tooth will slip off.
Yeah.
And I'll like hit another tooth and as it comes, and it like rings your whole bell and wakes you up. So when that happens, like I'll wear because I have mouth guards. I'll wear them until like for like a couple weeks, and then I take them out. And so maybe I'm doing it all the time.
It's the same thing I do. So I wear them. I don't wear them every night anymore.
No, I just do it when I start to feel like I'm doing it.
Yeah. He said the same. He goes, the same thing's going to happen on your other side. It's already cracked. It's you're going to have to get that one capped or whatever. And I just haven't done it. But now I can't. Now it's got to the point where like it doesn't hurt. Yeah. But if I eat on that side and I push into it, I'm like, it does that.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm like, you know, like that weird thing. And I'm like, okay, well, it's probably time to go visit, you know, and get the cap done, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, but I do use those guards occasionally. It does. It's a weird thing. It happens maybe once every couple months now.
Yeah.
And
I probably should go back to wearing those all the time.
Man, I wear them. You know, funny? I only wear one side because they only tell you to wear one. Like you either wear the top one or the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I just bought the ones that are like a football mouth guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You just hot water, mold them, and then.
So these ones I have are like they look like Invisalign.
Oh,
like they're that thin.
No, these ones are like an actual mouth guard.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
You know what's funny though? When I use them, I always tell Emily when I wake up, I'm like, I feel like I slept so good. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah,
that's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing.
Back to wearing those I drool like a motherfucker when I wear those. Though.
Yeah. Well, see, those yours is way more open than mine.
Yeah.
Like I put mine in, you would not even know. Like you,
right?
Yeah, you would not see them, and that's all you need. But they're expensive, man. Like, because that's
why I bought those ones. Yeah, they're like $20 for a pack of 4.
Let me tell you, like, that's probably the direction I'm going to go because those things are like $150 a quarter. Like, they want you to switch them out every 3. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
doing
like
that.
The first night I slept with them, I was like, this is weird. Like I'm sleeping with a full on like football mouth guard essentially, but then like I slept good that night, and then like I was like, oh, like this is great. Like. I just keep them. I keep them in when I get up, I have a Tupperware up there that's got my Crest mouthwash in it, and I just leave them in that overnight so they don't smell bad. Yeah. And it kills all the germs, and I just pull it out and fucking put it back in the next.
I have a little ultrasonic cleaner that I throw mine in. That it was like $15 on Amazon or something. You can just put water in there and it'll work.
I have an ultrasonic cleaner too.
That stuff works pretty good, but man, it starts smelling like farts after a while, man. like you know.
That's why I did the Lister or the mouthwash.
That's actually
never smelled bad.
See, that's actually a really good move. Is just to put it in.
You just got to make sure it's the alcohol free, like the Crest Pro Health.
Yeah,
because the alcohol will eat it. But
that's a good move. I think that's what I'm going to do.
It's good, man. I always sleep so good with it.
The ultrasonic works, but it doesn't. It cleans it, you know, so it doesn't stain.
Yeah,
but like it still smells like. You know, it's blood is what it is. It's like whatever's coming. It's just
I mean, it's just like plaque and gingivitis or whatever. So you know, it's like,
and it starts stinking like a mofo.
Yeah, I would try the soft ones.
I'm gonna. It's a good move.
Yeah,
it's a really good move actually.
If you get a really good fit when you heat them up, like it fits perfect, dude. They stay in there because they just fit your teeth perfect.
I'm gonna try. Well, I've got like 2 sets of the ones that I got from that one company.
Yeah.
And I just need to get them. I just need to get them back to like, you know, halfway clean. You know, like I haven't used them in a while, but they work really well. I mean, I don't have the issues I had before. Definitely, like you know, but yeah, I don't know. Shit's weird.
Yeah. When was the how long ago was the second season of Lioness? Like how long till the next one? Did they just finish?
It just finished like in December.
Oh fuck! Okay,
yeah,
so I got like another
it's
year.
Be a minute, yeah.
And Landman, we're gonna have another year probably too. So, I finished Yellowstone. I watched.
Oh, you did?
I watched the whole last season.
What'd you think?
Why did I think Matthew McConaughey was gonna be in it?
Because originally they were going to keep going. They were going to keep going,
and they were gonna like bring him in as a cousin or something.
Yeah, but now they're doing.
Yeah, Rip's going to have his own thing, right?
Yeah, they're doing that. They're going to do one of those, and then they already had, so 1932 comes out in February, the second season of that. And then I think they're doing like 1950 something, and that's what McConaughey's in.
Oh, okay. I mean, as far as the ending, I mean, I feel like, they had to go with what they had. I mean, they didn't have him, so it was like, they killed him off with a fucking Tier 1 team, and then
you pretty much knew what that season was going to be.
Yeah,
coming into it, I don't think there was any real, like, I can't think of any real like things that I was like, holy fuck, I didn't see that coming.
You know, no, you knew what it was going to happen.
That was
the only thing
there.
Like that. I wish the only thing that really let me down is like. I wish like Lloyd would have went with Rip to run his ranch.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
That bummed me out. Like, I don't know why, but it was like Lloyd was like, if I can't cowboy here, I don't want to cowboy anywhere. I'm like, okay, well,
Dylan's in the same state. Anyway, that was weird. Yeah. So, I think it was. Anyway.
Yeah, it was just like up the road.
Yeah,
like a couple hours.
So, it was weird that like how everybody dissipated, like the ranch had like the hands.
Yeah.
Like they all just kind of whoop. You know, I mean, I know that 4 Sixes is already got like they've got a show coming, I guess. Mm-hmm. So like you'll see some of those same players obviously are going to be in that because they're going to Texas to cowboy. But like, yeah, it was
dude went off with Lainey Wilson, which I expected.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Like, you saw Jamie dying. That was obvious.
The only thing I didn't see, I guess, was the black guy dying. Why would I have to kill the black guy off?
Yeah, that was weird. Just save the kid, but that was a weird thing that happened.
That was like that was like their curveball in the season.
Yeah, which that's a pretty lame curveball. That's a hittable pitch. Mm-hmm. You know, like I just like they sold everything off, knew that was coming. Giving it back to the tribe, giving that whole thing back. It was kind of weird watching that whole, like the house like coming down.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Like they were just trying to make it back to just wilderness area.
I guess. Yeah,
they're taking everything down to just make it back to just land. Which I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, yeah, the land, like the Duttons would be happy that the land is still going to be not an airport or condos, but it's like, I think he really wanted his ranch there. So like,
yeah,
man, I think maybe you could have just sold it for money and walked away.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it was a kind of a weird thing. I don't know if it was like a low key fall of the, you know, like the Dutton family fallout, and
it was like we
back.
fell out, but we didn't fall all the way out.
Yeah,
it was like one last stab at like trying to fuck the tourists out of another ski resort, airport, and condos.
Yeah, I guess. But they didn't really have a choice.
No.
Like they had,
Yeah.
like when he decided not to come back or whatever happened, like there was no arc that they were ready for. Like they had to, they had to basically fold shop, and that was it. Like there was no way to fucking fix that.
The only way to fix it would have been to bring somebody in who was like a long lost relative.
Yeah.
A surprise relative
That had the money to keep her rolling.
Yeah, that like,
and honestly, that was like,
or maybe not even
Hollywood.
have the money. Like they could have just kept doing the same things like John was doing, you know?
Right.
Just, but like, I mean, but what do you do though? Like you just keep, how do you keep making seasons about trying to keep this ranch open?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it's like, it's kind of like one of those deals where you're like, well, like nothing's really like the devil's change, and that's it.
Like, there's only so much you can make about a ranch in Montana.
Yeah, or the people
You
that
fucked with
want
Yellowstone
it gone.
wolves. You got fucking brucellosis from Yellowstone bison. I mean, you got people trying to come in and fight them. You got tribes trying to come in and working with them. It's like, you've kind of tackled all your fucking, like, what else did happen? Oh, there's an asteroid coming. Now we got to send someone to NASA?
Yeah, right.
Casey, you got to become a NASA astronaut.
Yeah, there's only so many villains. There's
Right,
only
it's
like,
like-
so many arcs you can take. I mean, and I think they knew that. I mean, realistically, like, I think there might have been only maybe another season after this, if anything, you know, and that would have been, and I think the same thing would have happened.
Yeah.
He gets killed, you know, like all that stuff. Just
You knew as soon as this, like after the first season, you knew this ends with John dying.
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah, and not
because
of
you
old
can
age.
only get
you get
shot
blown
so
up.
many times.
Yeah, I mean,
before like age is like, dude,
yeah,
do you have enough lead in you?
Yeah.
Like, I think you're good.
got blown up.
Yeah, like it doesn't come out of any other way really. But I mean, that's kind of Taylor's deal anyway. Like it's like nothing he does lasts for a long period of time, which is cool. Like you get
Get in,
see
get out,
in,
man.
You get to kind of see it happen, and you see like this piece, this part of history or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
like this little piece of what's going on, and then that's it. You move on.
I'm really excited for him to do the Empire of the Summer Moon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with all these other kind of things he's got going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm really looking forward to Landman. Like that show's
The show's good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I dig it a bunch. I like it as much as I liked Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Like when it was it's an interesting thing. It's not something that I've seen really that's ever been televised. Like it's never been put into like.
I like that he's taking all these things that happen. Like what I really appreciate is like he takes all these things that happen on a daily basis here in this country alone, really.
Right.
And he like sheds light on them to be like, this stuff happens. Like you guys drive your car every day, don't think about it.
Right.
But this fucking shit happens every day. And like with the Yellowstone, it's like,
Yeah.
This happens to ranches, big and small, every
All
day,
the time.
every single day.
Yeah.
He's doing the same. Like I like that, and like now, and then with Empire of the Summer Moon, like I don't think a lot of people have read that book.
Yeah,
and
probably not.
I don't know how he's going to attack it because like when you read Empire of the Summer Moon, you kind of be like, when you grew up, like I grew up, I don't know about you, but like when I grew up, it was kind of like we were kind of made to feel bad, like we were taking land from the Indians, and that's obviously was really prevalent in like the last few years. But like you start reading into like those Comanches didn't give a fuck, like,
No.
and they didn't care what tribe you were; they were just killing to kill because that's what they had fun doing.
Right.
And like,
yeah.
They weren't like mad that we were taking their land. They were like,
Born
they're happy we're here so they can kill us.
Right.
They're like, look at new people to try and
yeah.
kill.
New people that we can fucking.
And that's really what it was. I mean, look, so I hope, and I think he will, like take it down the real path.
Based on what he's done in the past, that's really the only thing.
I hope that he
comes
really
out of that.
fucking shows the violence.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't cut away.
Well, I don't think he's never really.
He hasn't really shied away, but he's
never really
also
shied
never
away
done
from it.
anything violent like what happens in Empire of the Summer Moon.
That's probably true. Yeah, you're probably right there. I am interested to see. There's another movie. He made a movie that like God damn, I can't remember. I'll figure it out. We'll talk about it off screen, or yeah, whatever. It came out a couple of years ago. It's supposed to be really good. And I just never, for whatever reason, I never watched it. It's supposed to be really good, but yeah, like he's not one to shy away from any of this shit.
No,
like
and he did the same thing with Lioness. Like,
did the same thing with Lioness. He did the same thing with Mayor of Kingstown, which I don't think you've watched that yet. No. I was a little hesitant at first because it was about prison, and it was, but it's a great take on it, and it depicts it very, like, I think pretty well. And again, you've never seen it the way he does it. Yeah. And again, that's something that's happening right now all over the fucking US, and no one really understands it other than people that have actually done it. And that's the same with Landman, it's the same with ranching, it's the same
Lioness.
It's all, unless you've done it, you would have no idea what happens daily.
You know, I think my favorite my favorite thing about Lioness was the first season that I've watched. I think hopefully it shed some light on people that didn't really know, like, how compartmentalized the government is. When you're talking about, like, you have the Secretary of Defense telling you that he doesn't want this person killed because they don't want to, like, make waves, even though he's a fucking terrorist or he's like funding all the terrorist groups.
Yeah.
Even though they put him on the watch list or on the fucking kill list at the number one, he's the ace of spades now.
Yeah.
And like, but they do that as like look, we're trying to get this guy. And then when they actually get to like where they're like, we can get him, they're like, wait a second. But then, but it's like the CIA doesn't operate with the Department of Defense like that. It's like you put him on the fucking list and we're going after him.
Yeah. It's like putting a dog in a room with a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you said you wanted the chicken killed even though maybe you really didn't, and now we have the dog with him.
Yeah. Dog's there.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that comes out of it. Dog's gonna kill him. Why? Because he's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a dog.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. That's what I really did like. I liked that he shined the light on that.
Yeah. He's really great at it.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched a show. I haven't watched something that he's done that I've been like, nah, he missed. Like, and maybe, I mean, I watched the first season of Tulsa King, and he did that. It's good. Yeah, it's different.
I don't know if I could take it slow and seriously.
It's a little hard.
Yeah.
It's a little hard. But it's a good show.
Sure.
Like, again, I don't know that I need it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but a lot of people do love it.
I've heard a lot of people
love it.
Yeah.
And it is a good show. It's just like, that I think has been done. It's been done a bunch.
What is it about?
Well, he's like he's mafia. Like, it gets out and they send him there because they don't want him in New York.
Sure. And then he
still wants to be part of
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So like he starts up, he tries to get things kicked off there, and so the things that you run into when no one,
when you're trying to mafia any with Skittle Boys.
Yeah. Basically.
I get it. I know the whole first season already.
Absolutely. You do. Yeah. So again, not a bunch of curveballs, but it's a good show. I mean, it's a decent show. It's interesting how the navigation works, I guess.
Hey, you know what is interesting? Hold on. Before we leave you people, there are all these spoiler alerts. Sorry. In Landman, I don't know if it was the last episode or the one before that. They brought in the National Guard to do like training exercises. They actually blew up a fucking cartel guy. Was that supposed to happen? I couldn't think, like, because they didn't like there was a bogey down. Like, yeah, because you hit it with a rocket. Like, what do you mean?
Because they thought there was supposed to be
training cars
out there.
Yeah. So that one was driving though. Mm-hmm. You tell me the fucking Air Force pilot or the Navy pilot or the National Guard pilot, whatever, in the fucking Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Didn't fucking be like, oh, that one's moving. That's probably not a train. Boom, dead. Killed them all.
Yeah, bogey down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. They
didn't really explain it. They just cut away and we're like, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I think that's gonna come up tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey guys, I just blew a bunch of Mexicans moving drugs.
That's not good.
It's not good. You're supposed to be throwing training rounds.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I know very little about oil in general and how they bullet and what they do and all those things.
Yeah, I know very little.
It's definitely something that's like, it's opened my eyes. I mean, in terms of like just getting somewhat of a grasp on like the things that they have
like,
to, especially around the border like that.
That's what I was going to say. Like, that's a whole different animal down there because you're dealing with drug cartels.
Yeah.
The little I know about like roughnecking is like just from the dudes that I used to hang out with that worked in the oil fields.
Yeah.
And like worked for either the private ones or Chevron, which was out there. But like they were just there working, you know. They weren't I know my mom did date a dude that was pretty high up in the Chevron field there. But I was younger at the time, and I never talked to him about it because I didn't give a fuck. But when I was like 12, but but yeah, she did date a dude that was like he worked for Chevron.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the guys that I knew that were in Colorado, and they were just they were drilling down natural gas reserves, and they were just capping them. So they were just finding them, capping them, and just keep moving. And they did really, really well for themselves. I mean, just like anyone in that business. I mean, it's true. Like you watch that show, and guys like, or the one, I think the lawyer was like, why are there these kind of issues? He's like, because tell me a place that you can go and make $180,000 a year with a high school degree, or you were in prison. Yeah. Like, you're just not going to find that.
Yeah. Where a felon or someone with a high school degree can go make $180,000.
And yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And of course you're going to have shit go down. It's just what it is, man. Yeah. But you're also, I mean, it's no different
dude,
from...
those dudes were fighting out there all the... My friends, I'm seeing fights every day almost.
Fuck yeah.
It's like...
It's not any...
like, you're going to see these guys tomorrow, man.
Yeah. Figure it out.
And no one's going to get fired.
Nope.
Like, for this. Like, you got to handle it.
Right.
Like, we need you there to fix these fucking pumps and get to the fucking oil, bud.
Right. I'd be interested to see if there was something coming down the pipe for, like, offshore drilling. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, those are really interesting. I never watched that Mark Wahlberg movie, Deepwater Horizon. Is that what it's called?
That movie's really pretty good. Yeah. I would watch it.
It's more about like the disaster that happened.
Well, it's what happened in the Gulf. Right. Yeah,
I would like to see a show or a movie about offshore drilling.
Yes, that's
how that works. Well, fucking Stamper Oil, baby, South China Sea.
That's what I'm talking about. That'd be fucking rad.
They just do a spin off of Armageddon and just call it Stamper.
Yeah, just call it Stamper. Yeah. Good. Taylor, if you're listening, I'm sure you are.
Yeah. Fucking. Bruce Willis can't do it anymore, though. He's a little. But
he's not.
But Ben Affleck can do it.
Yep.
Maybe he took the Stamper name.
Could have. You never know.
He's AJ Stamper. Woo! Bring back Liv Tyler. If you do it, you bring back Liv Tyler. Taylor, you hear me?
And bring back all them other fellas that aren't dead.
Yeah. Michael Clark Duncan, rip.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah, you can't be 7 feet tall and 400 pounds, all muscle.
It's not going to work.
You just can't. Your heart explodes.
Yeah. You're not long for this world.
You can make Green Mile.
You're long in general.
Yeah.
But you're not long in the world.
That's one of the best movie scenes of all time when he gets up on the top of that operating table and he's got the fucking cheetah print fucking thong on. He's fucking dancing.
What did he say? Some of these boys are what is it?
He says 4 of them tested positive for
ketamine.
For ketamine, he says 4 of them tested positive for a very powerful sedative, and he says people use sedatives all the time, doc. He says this one's meant for horses. He says some of those guys are pretty big.
Some of these guys are pretty big. Some of these guys are pretty big. Yeah, that's true.
He says, I love when they're like telling people they want, they're like calling out names like Oscar, like this. He says, who do you want to run this? He looks at me, he says, Max, and he looks at me, he says, you got a weight limit on that shuttle?
Bear. So if I kick you in the balls, you stay here.
Yeah, he says, I won't float away.
Okay. I won't float. Yeah, boss. That's good shit, man.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, we're back now after our Christmas New Year's break.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, by the way.
Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas.
Hopefully everybody was not in the French Quarter. Years back. That was fucking crazy.
How many you end up killing? Like 12 or something?
14 is what I saw today, actually.
That's a very popular new terrorist move. They're just driving cars through. That happened in Germany, remember? Christmas Eve, Christmas market.
Yeah. So that one was interesting, actually. We can talk. Well, I'm talking about the one in the French Quarter. Like, that was pretty crazy because they had that road completely blocked off, and he just went up and over the curb and drove down the sidewalk, which was crazy. Thank God the shit didn't go off that was in his van, supposedly, or truck, rather.
I mean,
so that was kind of interesting. I don't understand it. I'm not really sure I get it. Like, he had an improvised explosive device, and it didn't go off.
I don't like thinking about trying to get it.
I know, because when you start thinking about it, it very little adds up.
Yeah. I don't like stuff not adding up.
And then there's the Tesla thing in front of Trump Tower. I read about that, and
people thought at first that it was the Tesla blew up, like the battery blew up.
Right? Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. There's another battery that blew up and killed
goddamn electric cars.
Goddamn electric. Yeah. Sure. He was in it.
Was he in it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He killed himself, and then it blew up.
Oh, okay.
So he killed himself in the truck, and apparently the timer went off, obviously, or whatever. Yeah. He set it up.
There's only one dead. It was only him that died, right?
Yeah, that was it.
And a couple people got injured from shrapnel spark.
Injuries, but there was no serious injuries.
Interesting.
And no damage.
And it was outside of Trump Tower too, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So of course everybody was like, "Oh, it's a Tesla in front of Trump Tower."
Yeah.
Trying to send a message.
That's the first thing I thought too.
But he wrote a bunch about it, which they obtained all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
his manifesto.
Yeah, but
what's going on with the fucking Luigi guy? Anything on that yet? He's still just awaiting trial.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one.
The one where he killed the fucking healthcare guy.
Oh yeah. Well, so
they got him back to New York.
Yeah, we heard a lot about that, and then these two things happened, and now we don't hear anything about it.
Yeah.
So he's been going.
The news cycle moves on. So.
Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, but he actually,
the president gets shot in the fucking head.
Yeah,
and it moved on a week later.
Weird. Also heard something about
reports to fucking go off. Nothing. Okay.
Trump's supposed to be indicted before he gets.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. On the next one.
I haven't been following. I haven't been listening to my podcast because I haven't been at work. So.
I just heard something briefly on that.
Let's check the headlines real quick.
That he's supposed to get
right before we go. We'll leave you with something.
Before he gets inaugurated, they're gonna charge him.
Then they pulled up. They fucking. Also, before we left, they dropped the charges on the one dude in New York who choked that guy, the homeless guy, out on the subway.
Oh, okay.
And they acquitted him of the charges. And then, a few days after that, another freaking illegal immigrant lit a lady on fire on the subway.
See the guy that pushed the dude off the fucking
platform
onto the platform, but he fell right in a spot and that didn't hit him. The old guy got some old guy got pushed off right before the subway came. Well, he fell into the one spot and he never got hit. People are fucked.
Here's one of the top ones. Outrageous. Biden hands out. Okay. Biden gave Hillary Clinton the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Okay.
That's not real, is it? It's real. It's real. It's right there.
Outrage sparks. There were reasons New York judge moved up Trump sentencing. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
This is also an opinion piece. So, New York judge desperate to brand Trump convicted felon before inauguration. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Brand him. He'll just
go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what he's gonna do? Day one.
Yeah.
Do what Biden did to his kid.
Yeah, and a million other people.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Guy's just handing out fucking pardons
and he commuted a bunch of death row sentences too.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
Wasn't 1,200.
We talked about it before. Isn't there a part of the last 80 days that you're a president where everybody's like, all right, hand off the trigger, dickhead. We have to fucking
that
just
not let go of that trigger.
Yeah, we just need, you know what, man? Just slowly back away.
He gave Hillary Clinton the highest honor that a civilian can acquire. For what?
For killing 77 people.
Yeah.
I mean, that they know of,
Yeah.
not including all the people that she just let die at Benghazi.
Yeah, just like, nah, we're not worried about that.
Yeah. Getting in the way of my yoga.
Seriously.
Well, what a fucking dumb, goddamn, man.
We're getting close. When they vote on a couple of his cabinet picks here in the next week or two.
Mike Johnson got elected or re-elected, right? Was
Yeah.
it Johnson?
Yep.
They were real worried about that deal.
They're going to vote on Hegseth,
Because he was going to,
Tulsi.
he couldn't sign, he wouldn't have been able to, like, sign, or if there was no, what was it? I'm catching up still. If there was no Speaker of the House,
Yeah.
they couldn't even inaugurate or bring Trump in. They couldn't sign off on it or some shit because the Speaker of the House signs off on it.
Well, yeah, because he's third in line, man.
So everybody was worried because they thought for sure that the Democrats weren't going to, and it was going to be vacant.
I think they have to realize that. I think they realize that they have to fall in line right now until so like, they have to like get stuff going back again so they can build back.
They don't have to like if you start this shit now, man.
It was the same thing
like,
right
gonna
before
be a fucking firestorm.
Right before Christmas break for the for Congress, like when they went to vote on the new budget or whatever. Like I think that you finally realize like you will see what the American people are seeing you do right now because you have your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Everybody knows it too.
Yeah.
Like you're not even hiding it.
All eyes are on you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, stop playing these dumb games and just fucking do what you're supposed to do, which is attempt to govern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, get your fucking head out of your ass.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
All right, guys. We'll have more on current events next time we come in.
Yeah, we need to talk about all that. So, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to talk about, too.
I'll have more. I'm going to I got a full week back at work this week. I'll start reabsorbing.
Absolutely.
And seeing what goes on. Seeing
Sweet.
what's been going on. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Later.